All right. So this is strings with loops. Ask the user for a phrase. So to do that, we need a scanner. Got a scanner. Please enter our phrase. And string phrase equals scan.next line. Okay, and now the phrase reversed using a for loop. Check it out. For int I equals, we want to start at the end of the string and go to the beginning. So I'm going to do phrase.length. Boy, it's been a while since we've done that, huh? -1, right? Because if the string is 15 characters long, the last character is character 14. So we're going to start at the last character index, and we're going to keep going as long as I is greater than or equal to 0. And we're going to go down by 1 each time through. Sweet. All right, so now I want to print the character I. So system.out.print, not print ln, because we want it all on one line. Phrase.substring. We're going to go I, comma, I plus 1. And that's because if the very last character is character 4, you do substring 4, comma 5, and you get character 4. And then after the for loop, we need to do a print with the ln, because we want whatever we do next to not be jammed on the end of that line. Let's see what happens. All right. I'm having a good day. Backwards is Yad Dug Aginva Me. Almost seems like Celtic or Irish language. Dug. Okay, that's the first one. Number 2, ask the user for a second phrase. Report how many times the second phrase is found in the first phrase. Do this using a loop. All right. String second phrase equals scan.next line. I guess it'd be good form to say what's going on. Enter a second phrase. There we go. And now, did I say what kind of loop? A for loop. Okay. For now. It's an interesting one. I'll build this up on the fly, talking my way through it. I'm going to say, let's just for kicks put a phrase. And if I'm looking for the word cat, and cat's up is cat delicious. It should find cat twice in there, right? We don't have to check the first character or the second character, but we do want to check the first 3 characters, see if they're equal to cat. So we can start at character, the length of cat. Let's see, cat is 3 characters long. So we could start at the length of cat -1. So, no, or we start at 0. Let's just start at 0. Now here's where we do have to make sure it's less than phrase.length, because we can't go past the end of phrase when we're looking for strings. In fact, I'll leave it on. No, I want to take it off right now. So second phrase.length is what I think we're going to have to do. When we get rid of, we can't be looking for cat like right here, s plus 3 more characters, it'll crash if we, like, whatever the end of the main phrase is, you can't go past that. So we're going to the end of the phrase minus the length of cat. So we'll be checking, the last thing we'll check is that IUS is equal to cat or not. Anyway, then we're going to go I plus plus. 2 lines in here. Okay, so we also have to do a counter variable. Int c equals 0, and here we're going to say if second phrase dot equals, remember use dot equals with strings, and it's phrase dot substring I comma I plus 3. Can't use 3 though. It's second phrase dot length. 3 would have worked fine for this example, but what if I entered a longer second phrase? So what this is saying is, hey, if the second phrase is equal to the current 3 characters that we're looking at in the main phrase, and the reason I'm getting 3 characters is I'm going from I to I plus the length of the second phrase. So the first one would be 0, comma 3, which would give us characters 0, 1, 2. And then the next one, it's going to check if ATS is cat, and it's going to fail, and it's going to crank along until it finds cat right there. Really, the best test would be to do what I have there, but then also have cat at the very end. We want to make sure we find all the cats. So if the current 3 characters are equal to cat, dot equals, then we go C++. That's how many. That's keeping track of how many cats we found. And then we're going to print our results. Let's say second phrase was found C times in the first phrase. We better test this. I don't know if I can paste over on the right. I doubt we can, but we'll try. Nope, cannot paste. So cat's up is cat, cat, cat. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cats. But first it gets printed backwards, and then we're looking for the word cat. Cat was found 4 times in the first phrase. Okay, so it seems like it did not find. I better do like a less complicated one. Like let's just do cat, cat. Yeah, so it's not finding both of them. I think that's because we're ending this thing like 1 too early. So I'm going to do a +1 right here. Because let's just say if our phrase was cat, cat, that's 6 characters long. So the phrase dot length is 6 minus 3 means it would only ever get up to 2, 0, 1, 2. Yeah, so it wouldn't end up getting the very last character, or it would get to 5, so it wouldn't get to the last character. But this ought to fix it. Let's test. And so the main test that I'm doing is having cat as the first thing, and then having cat as the last thing. Now, and we should definitely get it twice. Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, there you go. That's the second part, and I think there's a third one. Print the second phrase with each letter occurring as many times as the phrase is long. For example, the phrase cat would yield CCC, AAA, TTT. All right. I think for this, we're going to do a loop inside of a loop. So I'm going to say for int I equals 0, I less than second phrase dot length. That's going to repeat as many times as characters are in second phrase. So that's going to be how we get each letter. In fact, why don't we do string letter equals second phrase dot substring I comma I plus 1. So that gets the current letter in a variable called letter, and now we're going to print that letter the right number of times. So to do that, I'm just going to do another for loop, int j equals 0, j less than second phrase dot length. And j plus plus, and this time we're not actually going to use j, but we're just using the fact that it's going to repeat the right number of times to print that letter. System.out.print letter, and it's going to, so for cat, it's going to get character C in letter, and then it's going to repeat 3 times and go C C C, and then it's going to come back up here and it's going to get the A, and it's going to go A, and so on. And at the very end, just for good measure, I'm going to print a blank line. So that catty bus cat and comes a few times and CCC AAATTT. Let's do something with a bigger word. I once lived in a giant house. Price is house. And it occurs one time, and there's 5 H's, 5 O's, etc. I think that's it. Yep.